Today we're going to talk about the top 6 fastest growing vegetables. So you better stand back because these things grow so quickly that they just might poke you in the eye. That's how quick they grow. Okay, so all of these can be grown either in containers or they can be grown in the ground. And one of them in particular, we're going to grow in water. Yeah, it's almost kind of like a bog plant. I've seen this stuff grown in all kinds of different types of situations, and it's really kind of a cool thing. But the first one we're going to talk about, which gets ready in about 20 to 30 days, is something that I've recently talked about here on the program because I have been growing it, and that would be radishes. Radishes were prized by the ancient Egyptians long before the pyramids were finished, and the workers of the Great Pyramid of Giza, they reportedly were fed radishes and onions and garlic, all a part about their daily rations that they had. So there was something in there that they thought that, hey, you got to eat this stuff. Now, if you've ever had a radish before, a radish is something that can be very mild in its taste, or it could be really spicy. So some people say that would be hot. So for instance, the radishes that I'm growing right now, they're called the black radish. I have one that's probably close to the size of a soccer ball right now, just kind of goofing around with it, seeing how big they get. I am interested in how it's going to taste. I don't think it's going to taste that great because when they get really big, they end up getting kind of stringy on the inside. But when they're smaller, they do have a kick. In fact, this particular one, this black radish variety that I'm growing, after you taste it, you don't get hit by the spiciness until 20, 30 seconds later. Then it hits you and it's like, oh my goodness. You know, it's almost like horseradish. It's not a radish. It's radishes that we're talking about, but it's not like horseradish. Really, really something else. Anyway, radishes are definitely among the fastest. They are not the fastest, but that's a very short period of time, and they don't have to get very big. And you can eat the leaves too. That's what's really neat about this. So they are among the fastest ones. And there's a variety called Cherry Belle that within as little as 3 to 4 weeks, you can harvest them. They're itty bitty, but you can harvest them. And that's what a lot of the stuff we're going to be talking about, the fastest things that we talk about. And this one just happens to get you a root crop because they are considered a root that we're eating, but you can eat the tops of them as well. In fact, that black radish I was telling you about, I asked just yesterday, I asked my friends, I said, I gave them to them. She's a culinary person, she really knows how to cook. I said, what did you end up doing then with them? And her husband said, we had to cook them down. They're delicious, but we had to cook them down. They were just too spicy. But you got to remember with these things, regardless, they have to be sown. They could be sown in the ground, and they're planted in full sun. Now, with all of these seeds that we're talking about, these, by the way, are all grown by seed. We're not going to be growing anything by plants because anything that you grow by a plant, that's an herb or whatever we're going to talk about, the second you put it in the ground, you can harvest it because you can eat the leaves with a lot of this stuff. Actually, all of them. You can eat the leaves, but some of them, we want them to get a little bit established so that there's a continual harvest. So that's the bad part about radishes. Once you pick it, it's gone. So succession planting or succession planting, however you want to say it, is really important. So every 2 weeks you would plant the seeds, but I do ask you to water scarify the seeds. That means soften the coat first, let them sit in water for a couple of hours at least. They can go overnight. Then you can pick them up and you can put them in the ground, space them out properly, because if you don't space them out properly per the directions on the package, then they're going to grow too close to each other. You want to have that air movement between all the plants so that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Keep the soil consistently moist because dry spells will make the radishes woody and fiery, and they're going to have a bitter bite to them. That's actually with all radishes. So think about that. Now, the garden cress. You know, garden cress is an interesting plant. Imagine a long stick and a leaf on the end of it. It's in the nasturtium family, and it's ready in about 7 to 14 days. It's really something else. Now, the ancient Persians and Greeks, physicians, they would use the cress as a medical herb. And the Persian children, they were reportedly told to eat it, and it was going to help them grow taller and think more clearly. A little bit that's on its test. Now, here's the thing about these fast-growing ones. You got to have a palate for them. If you don't have a palate for them, you're going to be disappointed, but you have to have that. Try it. That's the important part. And it's this one, the garden cress, they could also call it a watercress, is quite possibly the absolute fastest growing one on the planet. I mean, you can start snipping sprouts within a week. I did some filming once, and it was amazing how they were growing all this watercress on top of some water, and we came back a couple days later, and the rejuvenation rate on it was just amazing. Now, it does thrive on a sunny windowsill and nothing more than a shallow tray of soil, or they'll even grow on a damp towel. That's how cool this is, and it delivers a kind of like a peppery mustard-like kick to it. You put it in your sandwiches and you put it in your salads and soups with almost no effort whatsoever. And oddly enough, you keep the soil moist or in the water or whatever, or the paper towel moist, they grow back. It's just amazing how it grows back so much. Now, arugula is another one. It's always on the bitter side, but it is ready in about 20 to 30 days. I mean, how quick is that? Now, arugula was once considered an aphrodisiac in ancient Rome, and it was reportedly banned from being grown near any kind of monasteries for that reason. So it's got a reputation to it, but this is a peppery salad green that germinates just in a few days and can be harvested as baby greens in under a month. And really, you know, microgreens is kind of what we're talking about over here with some of this stuff. But anyway, the arugula, it's a cut and come again kind of crop. You snip the outer leaves of the plant, and it keeps producing. You don't harvest the inside of the leaves, just the outside of them. But the thing you have to worry about the arugula is that it bolts quickly. Have you ever seen a plant that bolts before? It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. Imagine this. Imagine you have a plant, and then you have it's sitting on the ground level over here. What happens is that when it dries, there's like a stalk that grows really quick, and you'll have a stalk that's anywhere between 6 to 12 to 18 inches. Lettuce is really known for this. Cabbage is known for this. Any of your ornamentals are known for that, and it's like that. It turns bitter and it's not good. So make sure you pay attention to keep the area moist on a regular basis. Let's discuss about green onions for a second. A lot of people call them scallions. I like them just called green onions. They are ready in 20 to 30 days. They're a very fast clumping kind of plant. I never harvest the bulbs off of these things because we only want the top parts on them. Mrs. Things Green happens to have a clump that is probably 6 inches in diameter, maybe more. Yeah, if you take your thumbs, put them together, and your forefingers, put them together, your middle finger, and you have this big old clump like this. What is that? It's bigger than a softball. But yeah, a clump that big. Oh, I would say it's at least 4 years old. It's in a raised planter bed. And she just goes out there and she clips away. And it's not every day, of course, but you clip away, and you don't want it to flower. None of this stuff you ever want it to flower, because if it does, number one, it's going to go to seed. Number two, whenever certain plants, like the ones we're talking about, flower, they turn bitter. So we don't want them to be bitter. So it is a matter of getting in there with your pruning shears or your scissors or whatever it is that you're using, get in there and clip those things off. Or if your fingers are strong enough to make a pinch and pull them off. You're usually very, very good at doing that. So when we're talking about these particular plants, the green onions, like I said, 20 to 30 days. Now, what's really interesting about the onions and their relatives, they're actually valued so high in ancient Egypt that they were used sometimes as currency. And the onion bulbs have been found in places that you could never imagine, i.e. mummies. Yeah, they would actually take the bulbs of these things and place them in the eyes, and I've never seen that because I've never seen a real mummy before, so I'm just going to take your word for it. Now, what's really neat about this is that you're literally getting an endless supply from something that you can get from scraps. You could put them in your house, you could allow them to grow, put them in dish of water that keep on going. Keep them on the counter. They grow better in the garden as far as I'm concerned because you have the soil that's around with them. Relatively insect and disease free, really, because they just keep on growing. But you have to keep on, doing the pruning thing because you don't want them to flower. They are just amazing as a space efficient, thriving plant. They grow in between things like peppers and tomatoes very easily. And because they're a type of onion, let me tell you, they'll grow and they'll keep other insects away. The one that Mrs. Things Green has, we have never had any insects. We have never had any problems whatsoever. No diseases, no nothing, except for good onions. I mean, the tips of them, the leaves of them, but we leave the bulbs alone. Okay, so how about some baby spinach? And by the way, you can say the same thing for any other kind of plant, whether it's spinach, whether it is kale, whether it is lettuce. You can grow these all pretty quickly, but the spinach grows pretty quickly in about 25 to 30 days, and you'll get these microgreens, as we call them. Now, the fun part about spinach is that if you have no idea who Popeye is, and if you don't, you need to do an internet search on who Popeye is. But Popeye did something pretty amazing, the cartoon that is. And because there's a couple of movies, I know that. Anyway, when Popeye ate his spinach, his love of spinach was just absolutely amazing because he got his muscles. Remember, he used to call them his muscles? Well, what it did is it created a huge boost in American spinach sales. That was all done back in the 1930s. And what happened was that some towns that were just on the brink of dying, they just started to grow spinach, and the spinach industry literally took off. It's kind of like when you have these celebrities that wear certain dresses or a hat or something like that, and people go, "Oh, I want that, I want that." That's what that's what ended up happening with the spinach. They love the spinach, and people started eating it. I like spinach, and you got to cook it down really well. Eat it two way. You got to throw a boatload of butter in there, and it gets super, super soft and yucky, and then you put it in between bread and you eat it like a sandwich. I love it that way. Literally love it that way. The other way is making like chips out of it. You put it on a cooking sheet, you dry it out, salt it first a little bit, pepper it, and then you dry it out, and then you can eat it. It breaks very easily, but it's a really fun, natural, delicious snack. You don't have to do anything fancy to it. Now, spinach is really harvested with the baby leaves. So you got to get the ones on the outside so that the inside can continue to grow up. If you just take and you just decapitate it, it has a harder time growing back. So kind of keep that in mind. Now, typically, it is a cool season crop. So it's better if it is planted in the fall or in early spring. But if you keep it in a eastern exposure during any other time, you're probably going to be okay with growing it because it doesn't want that full intense sun. But it should be okay. Again, take and harvest the outer leaves and it will produce a whole lot longer for a very long period of time. And finally, let's talk about the one that takes only 21 to 30 days. This is probably something that you've read about before, and it is the mustard seed. And the mustard seed has been mentioned in ancient texts as a symbol of something small that grows remarkably strong and fast and large, and has a reputation of a plant that clearly has earned its garden, what do you call it, garden as well. It flourishes. And you have to be careful more than anything so it doesn't get out of hand. Now, it is one of the easiest of the leafy greens that are around. And the mustard seed or the mustard plant is kind of spicy. It's harvested usually in about 3 weeks after planting it. Grows quickly. It tolerates both cool and moderately warm conditions. It's better than any other quick greens, giving it a longer planting window. So instead of planting it today and every 2 weeks, you could probably go every 4 weeks and plant like that so that you have a bumper crop. And it's the younger mild leaves the younger leaves are much milder tasting, while the older ones, they can have a very sharp horseradish-like bite to them, but they cook down well in butter. That's the nice thing about that. So there you have it. We have our radishes. We have our watercress or garden greens, arugula. We've got green onions. I wrote them down over here so I could remember. Green onions, mustard greens, and of course, the baby spinach. And those are our top 6 vegetables that we grow by seed, and how quickly that we can start from seed to harvest.